just gonna take you through a quick tour of kind of what the Adobe Max exhibit hall looks like, and then I'm gonna see if I can find a quiet place to explain really quick what I want you to do for the inspiration blog tomorrow. So I'll try to do this relatively quick. The main thing is with the inspiration blog, what we need to do first is you guys need to pick your photographers. So you might want to take a couple of minutes and go ahead and think about those 20 or so photographers that you picked that first day in the Art Doesn't Exist in a Vacuum. So you might want to go back, kind of look at those photographers and really decide, well, which of these people really their work speaks to me the most. And also keep in mind that you're going to be choosing somebody that is doable. I mean, don't like pick somebody like Clark Little, but you're afraid of the water and you're not going to get in the water and you're not going to take pictures underwater, or you have no access to getting to the beach. So that would not be a good choice. So really think about what's doable for me, what also really kind of speaks to me, and then just go ahead and select that photographer. We're going to allow you to pick whoever you want. There's no limit to how many people could pick the same person, because I think you guys are all unique enough that you'll decide to pick somebody that is specific for you. Once you've selected them, what we're going to start today then is the inspiration blog. So there's very explicit instructions below on how you're going to go about doing the blog. It works a little bit different than just our normal standard page. So just make sure that kind of follow through those instructions. The main thing is, if you've ever had trouble inside of Weebly where you did something and you went to publish and text disappeared, the blog is probably 10 times worse than the actual regular part of Weebly. So I'm going to highly recommend that you do whatever writing you're going to do it inside of Google Docs. Google Docs will not lose anything, right? It's going to back up stuff. It's going to make sure that it's that it's not going to get lost. And then you'll just be copying and pasting into those different blog posts. So I want you to put each one of the individual photos that you're going to collect, and you're going to collect 10 pictures that are your favorite examples of your photographer's work. And so when you do a blog post, it should have just a single photo, and then it should also have a text box. And then in the text box, we're going to be doing our critique. And this is going to be an abbreviated version of what the critique was that we talked about yesterday. So it's still going to be those same elements. So you might want to, in your Google, just start off with writing describe, return, interpret, return, and then formal elements, return. And then that way you've already got it kind of formatted. Then just copy that and go paste, 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 so that you've got 10 sets of it, right? Because you're going to write 10 critiques. But this time, instead of writing 3 or 4 sentences about what it is that you're looking at, you're going to actually go. And so for describe, what I want you to do is actually just tell me 3 things that you see, right? Because again, with the description, it's really about just tell me the facts, right? What can I see? What do I know for certain? Nothing is too obvious, right? So just tell me what you see in that photograph. So it'll just be a single sentence, and it'll contain 3 things, right? So you're going to say something to the effect of, let's say we were looking at the Richard Avedon picture of the boy holding the rattlesnake, right? So we're going to say, I see a boy, I see, overalls, and I see a gutted rattlesnake, right? Those are just 3 things that we see inside the picture. You can picture that. And it really should be that quick and that easy. I mean, this shouldn't take me 5 minutes to write, right? That was, 3 things. It probably would take 30 or 40 seconds to write inside of your critique. Then for the interpretation, you're going to say 3 things that it makes you think, or 3 things that it makes you wonder, or 3 things that you might be thinking it's about. And so in that picture, you'll again say, this picture makes me feel, or this picture makes me wonder, and then list those 3 things. It makes me wonder. I'm not looking at the photograph, but let's say like it makes me wonder, why he killed the snake, and if this was his first time, and if it makes him happy, right? Like those might be 3 things that I'm wondering about that photograph. And so it should just be that quick and that easy. And then in the final one, we're looking at formal elements, right? So the last part that you're going to want to do is list 3 things that you see in the photograph, right? So I might say something like this photograph uses simplicity because it's on a white background, and it uses butterfly light, and it uses contrast because there's a huge difference between that white background and the subject, right? And so those are 3 formal elements. And again, the formal elements, they can be design principles, they could be art elements, they could be composition techniques, it could be depth of field, it could be dealing with camera techniques, any of those things that we've learned that are like a technique or a something about composition can be listed in those formal elements. And again, you're just saying these are the 3 formal elements, A, B, and C. And so that's a critique. That's all that we need for our inspiration blog. So once you put that into the Google Doc, copy and paste it into the text box inside of Weebly, and then hit post. And then go ahead and go to the bottom and say, I want to add a new post, and then go ahead and do critique number 2. So this really shouldn't take a lot of time, but I do want you to spend some time in deciding who you want to do for your photographer, and then also really finding the images that you really love the most. That's what's really important, because eventually we're going to be going out, we're going to take our own pictures that are going to be based on the work of our photographer, and we're not trying to copy their work. We're looking at doing emulation. We want to take what they did and then embody it in some new, interesting way, right? I like to think of Randy Jackson, if any of you ever watched American Idol. So when somebody would sing a song, he'd always say, you got to make it your own, dog. You got to like do something different with it. And so that's really what's the most important part. But we want to be able to reflect back on, well, what did I see in this photographer's work, and what did I like about that, and how did I embody that and change it and do something different with it. So take some time and really pick images that are going to kind of speak to you. And so today, just spend the time, take those 10 images, write the short critiques inside of your inspiration blog, and then that way we can start to move on tomorrow when I get back. This is Tuesday, and so tomorrow will be the last day here at Adobe Max, and then I'll be back with you guys on Thursday. So just stay focused again today, get the work done, and I'll see you on Thursday, and we'll do a shooting assignment. Okay, bye.